Spec Ops The Line was just removed from both Steam and Xbox stores, so meaning if you've never had the opportunity to play this game,
this is your fault, goddammit! Stop right there, Hugo. What it is, he wouldn't listen. Have a choice. He turned us into fucking killers. That's enough, Sergeant. No.
then it's clear that you just missed your window of opportunity unless you're willing to pay some higher price for what the game is actually worth on like eBay or something. Spec Ops The Line is one of those games that I recommend to nearly everybody, because on the surface level, it's just like a normal dude bro soldier doing dude bro soldier things and basically just takes on an entire army alone, even though he has two companions with him. But when you start digging into this story a little bit more, you start to find things like trauma and mental instability in combat. The thing I truly do love is the mental breakdown that is shown throughout the game. You play as Captain Walker, the most generic soldier you can find in nearly every shooter ever. Walker and team's mission is very easy. Go in and understand the radio broadcast that's being sent out and see if there's any members of the 33rd around. After that, leave. You do that within the first 5 seconds of the game, but for some reason they continue down this path of searching for answers of what's happening in Dubai. It gets to a point where Walker's own mission becomes more of an obsessive journey for answers, as it all involves his old battalion commander, Conrad. As the mission that was supposed to end very quickly ends up progressing, you start to see Walker's psyche start to fade. And also just like props to any animation that went with this game, because you can also just start to physically see this character wear down mission by mission with all the stuff they've been experiencing. I'm not going to spoil the game for you because it's one that I feel like every player should at some point play, so if you have the opportunity to get this game, I highly recommend it. But just know there are some pretty intense moments in the game, so if you're kind of squeamish on like death and dying and other really traumatic things involving war, it's not something I can really recommend to you. But there are things that happen in this game that really will make your jaw hit the floor, and also the entire story kind of goes deeper where it seems like you as the player are more to blame for the actions of Walker, even though they'll directly act as though Walker's to blame. You as the player are to blame. It's pretty intense, and like there are a lot of little things that I didn't notice when I first played the game that I've played over the years that I've started to pick up on. Here's what I'll say. At the end of the day, everything that Walker's does is your fault, and you are to blame for that. Yes, you may have not had a decision, but guess what? You did have the decision. You could have dropped this game at any point in time, but instead you continued on this weird path of just trying to get to Conrad. So at the end of the day, you're a fucking monster, but you're a good monster. Me and you were cool. With that being said, with Spec Ops The Line being removed from digital stores, this creates a massive problem, because obviously there's been a lot of debate, I think over the last few months that I've at least seen, involving physical and digital media. Because while in this case I don't think this ever really happened, digital media is something that you don't really own. Yes, you bought it, but they could easily rip it out of your library of games. But if you own the physical copy, you could actually have that copy of the game forever. So if all of a sudden they decide, hey, we're gonna delist this from the store or start pulling it from people's libraries, they can no longer do that if you own the physical copy, which is why I myself have been moving towards buying more physical copies of games. Because while this may not have affected people's libraries, the people that did want to buy Spec Ops The Line, because there's a few people online that I saw that said that they had it in a wish list, no longer have that opportunity to actually play the game or buy the game because it's no longer in the store. And as for why this got delisted, it seems like it's pretty much unknown. Even like the developers that worked on this game at one point in time seem pretty shocked as to why this entire game got removed from like the Steam store. The only answer I could seem to find was people thinking this involved licensing because they used copywritten music that they licensed at some point in time, which when that licensing ran out, it eventually just led to the game being taken down, which apparently happens to a lot of other games. Like a lot of games use some sort of licensing with music, the software they use, which again is another reason why I've been moving to physical media. But I'd like to know what you have to say in the comment section below. What do you think of all this? Do you think physical media is better than digital? Have you been moving over to physical media? And if you're wondering about the multiplayer, even before the game got delisted, like the multiplayer, no one really played it. It might exist on PC, but when I played on Xbox, it was just a no-go. And if you have that opportunity to obtain Spec Ops The Line, it's a game I highly recommend. I think you'll enjoy it if you're into war games and something a lot deeper than just the Michael Bay action in a Call of Duty game. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, great, then consider leaving a like. If you didn't, well, it's not getting much better than this, but if you enjoyed it just enough, maybe just hit that subscribe button because it helps out the channel. Thanks for watching, and well, bye!